and thanks for staying with us. Customs destroy goods worth millions of naira at the border. Also on Customs report, stakeholders speaks on customs submissions in the country. Plus, more report. I am Igiseme Itinye. Stay tuned. The Director General of NAFDAC has urged importers operating at the nation's border to desist from importing fake products into the country. She made the appeal at Seme border, where she was conducted around the seized products by the Customs Area Controller. The NAFDAC boss was welcomed with a guard of honor mounted by men of the Nigerian Customs Service.
Nigeria Customs Service, Seme Area Command, guard, come up, 8 men, 1 vigilant, ready for inspection, mark. Your permission to dismiss the guard into the guard room, huh? Stand, pass to the guard into the guard room. Pass out. Hey.
The destroyed goods runs into millions of naira. The item includes fake drugs, expired rice, fertilizers, and mosquito coil.
I feel delighted that I'm here at the Seme Command border with Controller Mohammed being the center of the command here, and the wonderful work that they've done. Seizing all this unwholesome food, coils, is protecting our people from danger, from death. For example, the coils that they seized could have killed hundreds of people because they are fake. The rice that they seized, they are bad for consumption, and our people will not know. So it is safeguarding the lives of our people. But more importantly is the collaboration between the customs and NAFDAC, NDLEA, SUN, The goal is to save our people, and that is my own concern. That is my own goal. That is what is driving me every day. What is it that our people are consuming on the market, or buying from the market and consuming? What they are doing here at Semeboda, to me, is a classic example of how they are protecting the lives of our people, and I cannot thank them enough.
Yeah, the fertilizer that are right on the ground,
yes.
What do you have to say to that?
That he was telling me that if that fertilizer gets to the ground, it burns, kind of literally burns the ground around it. And again, people are driven because of greed and money to destroy even our own agriculture, So I'm extremely, extremely glad that they are able to do what they are doing. And I hope the CG Customs is listening or looking at us, watching this. They need a lot of support. We have to give a lot of support to our own people too, because of the collaboration and the outcomes, the fruit of the collaboration. Those are the things that we have seen on the ground here.
Yeah, finally, the issue of tramadol,
yes,
has been what you have been fighting with all over the country.
Yes.
What message do you have for those that are bringing this thing through unapproved routes?
That is my passion. First of all, drugs change the way people think, especially our children. And the people that are bringing tramadol in, they are thinking of the money, but they are not thinking of Nigeria. They are not thinking of their children, because it may be their children using tramadol. So the fight against tramadol, codeine, is a fight for all of us. But as NAFDAC, DG, ours is to protect the public, and we're going to do everything possible to make sure that the flood, I will call it the flood of tramadol on our country, is stopped.
The customs area controller also said that any contraband items brought into the country will be seized by the government.
If anything happened to NAFDAC or NDLE or quarantine, it happened to customs. That's why we work together. Make sure that every month end we have a security meeting to protect us, our country, our border, our people. I would also like to use this opportunity to thank your coordinator here, peaceful human being advice. He's always going around on patrol to make sure that I get intelligent reports later, to make sure that we perform well. At the same time, that was New York. It took us almost 2 months to his intelligence report to arrest that mosquito coil that was straight from China to the other outstation. We have been following it. They pack it out of the country because we have no right to enter another country to arrest them. But we use diplomacy to the extent that they say they are not going to use their vehicle. We should bring another truck and convey it. They surrender, which we did, together with the help of the coordinator. He has a sleepless night because of that mosquito coil. We thank God we are able to arrest it. Which today we are going to destroy it. When I came here, 2003 I was here, but when I came back I saw border has changed completely. A lot of things. So I said to myself, I have to change this place. How do we change the place? How someone say, Ba Abudu Ana Susantua. You cannot be running and be scratching your hand. So it's either you stop and scratch or you start running. So I say, let me run. What I mean here is that I say, I don't want anything I don't want to compromise with anything. While I'm here for an assignment which I want to accomplish. But I would like to tell you, we have a garage, a notorious garage here. For the past 28 days, yes, nobody has able to scare those people out of that place. I cleared that place in 1 week without even clearing a rat. What else happened the other two were able to clear everything. In short, madam, with this collaboration with our sister agency, we will make a lot of impact. Within my stand here, we are able to arrest over 40,000 bags of rice. We are able to arrest over 40,000 cartons of tomato. When you talk of frozen chicken, we are talking of over 90,000. Some of those items that are good for human consumption were sent to IDPs, Yobe. Some that are bad, we sort them out. I gave samples to your people, NAFDAC. which they confirmed that it's not even good for animal consumption. So the last barrel we did a barrel ceremony of 2,800 bag of rice in the presence of all our sister agencies.
You are watching the program Customs Report. The stakeholder operating at the nation's port has said that the NICES program just introduced by the Nigerian Customs Service will continue to generate more revenue for the country. He said that most agents are trying to meet the demand at the customs formations in regard to the introduction of NICES 2.
Customs are showing that at least the management of customs have now transformed the system, be as it may. The area controller, Apapa here, Jubrin, is doing so well and has already made a platform of collaboration with the stakeholders, and of which is trying at that side. And the clearance of cargo, anywhere that they have problem, I always call on him, and he has certain the correct measures, at least to put in place to ensure that those take out and take in doesn't have any space at all.
Are you freight forwarders? Are you very comfortable?
I'm comfortable, very comfortable. I'm a freight forwarder, but most of the bottlenecks we have is just since all this time is just little. It's little. You know, NICES 2 has already come in place, but as a result of something that come new, just like when we have a Skoda Plus, and during the era when we're having a pay to win on this, it's not now. Things are now working in the sense that many things that and the major fundamental processes that before when you'll be having rancors and so on, but now I think things are streamlining and then trying to elevate the system higher so that people can now flow with the window and then other stakeholders join suit. I'm very much comfortable with the system. The only avenue where I'm faulting the Wayfront is the server issues. You know, mostly at times the server failed customs. Customs are very ready and eager to work, but at times you see they don't have what you call a digitalized, decentralized server. I think if they have digitalized, decentralizing server, I think if the other server fails, then they can switch over to the other. So that causes a lot of delay as well. If any server breakdown, custom always, they are very, very worrisome about it. Not that they have any connivance, but they are very worrisome. You see them ready to work, but the server is not going. So the revenue is about getting all the infrastructural related materials in place and then making sure that those things are working as it could be.
You also urge customs to continue to improve the system so as agents all over the country will fully understand NICES 2. The federal portion in the Zone A has intercepted goods worth over 1.4 billion naira. The customs area controller said that the customs has seized 15 trucks of rice for smugglers operating along the unapproved routes in the country. He speaks more on the seizure.
Within the period under review, we have been able to intercept 9,049 bags of 50 kg rice, equivalent to 15 trailers of rice. A trailer carries 600 bags of rice. This is one of the trucks carrying this rice. We are going to show you more. There are others in the warehouse. Some are even the training school that we have constructively warehousing for reason of space. But it is on record what we have been able to seize. 9,049 50 kg bags of rice, equivalent to 15 trailers of rice. You are aware that the federal government has a policy of local rice production in Nigeria. Essence is for us to have food security, to preserve our foreign exchange, to get employment for our teeming youth. This is the essence of the ban, and we should continue to encourage local production so that we will be self-sufficient in food. One of the reasons why government does not like smuggling apart from bringing in unemployment, destroying the economy, the government also does not have data as exactly what you smuggle out or what you smuggle in. And that affects planning and development. So it's one of the reasons why government does not like that. You see, if you look at now, the last time I think we had about 9 trailers or so, and this time around we have 15 trailers. You know, during festive period, people who are used to eating a particular food, they would like to widen their tentacle to make sure that they must eat. So along with that line, we also widen our tentacles, our anti-aggressive policies to make sure that we deprive them of eating the rice. And this is why what has brought us to this level, and we will continue to do that. For the corporate organizations, we know dealing with human beings is a very difficult thing to do. That I'm sure after some time educating people, bringing it to their notice, what they are doing is not, you know, outright they cannot call all their drivers and sack them because their work automatically will stop. But I'm sure, I believe, they assured us that they are going to look at this before employing new ones. Even those ones that, anyone according to them that they have done that, they have sacked them. And they have appealed to us that since we are a partner in progress by producing accessible products and we collect excise duty, so we partner together with them to make sure that whenever we have such driver, we also send them to jail. Whenever vehicles or goods are brought here for non-production of custom documents, we send a report immediately to the custom headquarters. And once such individuals bring their documents and we are certified, we are pretty sure that they have adequate government money has been brought, we release them and copy to the custom headquarters. Some of them, you see them, they are brought here for under detention because they have not paid adequate money. And when such money is collected, we also release them and notify the headquarters. That's why we have been, for instance, now we have been able to generate 59 million within 3 weeks. And this is for a short payment for such vehicles and goods that they try to beat the system.
He also warned importance against smuggling activities in the country.
Instead of developing other countries, let us develop our countries. We don't have any other one than this. So please, at any point in time, if you see people smuggling rice, give us information. You make arrests. Call us. We'll be like your intervention post. We'll roll. We'll continue so that we'll make sure that it is arrested and will be brought here. So that next time when we have press conference, we'll be able to show you, say this is one of the, we will not disclose anybody's name. Let's go.
In the last 3 years, the Customs Management has been impounding and arresting thousands of bags of rice for smugglers operating along the nation's border. The investigation revealed that most rice imported were brought into Nigeria through the creek, and immediately Customs will impound the consignment from the smugglers. Most times, the smugglers, on sighting the Customs, will abandon their vehicles and run right inside the bush at night. Even some Customs command has even intercepted rice at the port. The Customs Area Controller in charge of Ogun State Command has impounded 1,450 bags of rice from smugglers operating at the nation's border. He said the management of Nigerian Customs Service will make sure that smuggling is reduced to the barest minimum. He speaks more on the seizure made by his men.
Here, in these seizures, the rice you are having here is over 1,400 bags. That is the ones we have by my left-hand side. By my right-hand side, where we are having are motor vehicles that are usually carrying small vehicles that carry rice from the dump site, illegal dumping site, to various locations within Ogun and outside Ogun State. We have intercepted them. This is why we have succeeded in getting these ones. We brought them. Some vehicles among them that we could not start the engine, we emptied the rice and loaded them into our pickups. You know, Ogun Command has always been on a red alert. Smuggling flourished here before, but now we are giving it back to them. We have been on a red alert. It is not going to be too easy for smugglers of arms to get it easy through here. We are not saying they cannot try, but let them try. We are here, we are watching them, and we will continue to make seizures. Hopefully, if they come through Ogun State, we are going to make seizure of equally arms if it passes through this place.
The Customs Area Controller in charge of Port Harcourt 2 has said that they will continue to perform 100% examination of goods coming into the country. The Area Controller also said that 100% examination of goods at the port has further improved the level of revenue drive and proper security at the nation's port. The Controller also speaks on the examination of goods at Examination Bay at Onne Port.
We have intercepted 3 20-feet containers laden with imported rice. And like I said at the press briefing, rice is not prohibited. But we are all aware there are import guidelines that prevails in importation or exportation of any cargo in or out of Nigeria. One of such regulation is provision of Form M, is a prerequisite document before you import anything into the country. Now this intervention, the rice we just seized, did not just contravene in terms of documentation, but it has also contravened in terms of declaration. Because the document I am holding is the document that is related to this rice. And in the document, the declaration is sewing machines. Sewing machines, we all know if you go to the bank, you can easily get Form M to allow you to continue your transaction with the aim of importing such items. The importer of this rice felt he will not recognize the eagle eye of customs. And we decided to shine the eyes as we can be able to see in a long distance. And at the same time, we can be able to see 360 degrees, which is what the eagle eye is seeing. The declaration is sewing machines, and usually we allow time and we permit that time to the importer to make amendments as provided for in our book of law. When you make importation by sea, there could be mistake. So the law provides 7 days within which whatever you are going to amend, whether you are going to add to what is recorded or subtract or correct. And unfortunately, there is nothing like that. And the importer decided to even go ahead and make his declaration in the customs server, pay the duty, all as sewing machines. As part of the regulation also, we wrote a letter inviting the importer or his representative that we want to check what is in the container properly. We were preempting the decision of the importer because we have not seen him coming forward after the declaration and after the mandatory duty payment. So we decided to write. We are still waiting. As the importer decided to shy away, and we decided to do our duty by compelling the cutting of the sale and conducting examination. And you need not to be told because you can see. So you tell others. This action should serve as deterrent to any importer that does not abide by the rules and regulations of import guidelines into Nigeria. Please desist from doing that.
Just before we round up this week edition of the program, Customs Reports, we brought you a report where goods worth millions of naira was destroyed by customs submissions operating at Seme border. For me, Igeseme Ite, thanks for watching.